Hey guys, this is Aaron Muller over at Advantage Commercial Brokers. I help people buy and sell companies. Today I want to talk to you or tell you a little story about Jim. Now Jim was he had a trucking company, and he actually been a trucker for over 30-something years. And he gave me a call a while back, and says, "Hey Aaron, I'm thinking about selling my business. What do you think?" And we kind of got into the story of what was going on with the industry and his business, and I kind of identified some things that were happening in the industry at that time, and said, right now probably isn't the right time to try to sell it and get the most amount of money for your business. So let's see what happens with the industry, and give me a call back when those changes happen. And about 6 months later, he did give me a call back, and we identified the time was right to sell that business. And so the next step that we had to do was we had to market this business in a way that somebody that wasn't in the industry would potentially buy it, because for the price he wanted to actually exit his company, I knew a strategic buyer probably wasn't going to pay it, because a lot of times they're not willing to invest that same kind of money as somebody that knows nothing about the industry and wants to learn it. And so they'll sometimes pay a premium for a business like that. And so what we had to do is we had to build a confidential business review on that business that was highlighting the parts of the business that would make it exciting and show that there's potential for growth and that there was stability in the business. And so what we did was we developed this business review, and then we put it out onto the market. And what happened was we ultimately got 2 people that were interested in the business, which was interesting because one guy was willing to pay a certain amount more for the business than the other one. But when we weighed everything out, the buyer really felt more comfortable with the person that wanted to pay a little bit less. And so we made the conscious decision to go with that guy that had the lower offer. But it sounds dumb, but we wanted this deal to go to closing, and if you just stick on the price a lot of times and you're not weighing out everything else, a lot of times the last minute that deal's not going to happen, or through the due diligence period the deal just falls apart. So we always have to kind of be careful about which one that we pick at that time, because you don't want to go back to somebody after something falls apart, because it's really hard to sell it to them. So anyways, we ended up going down the path of getting the bank financing. So we have good connections over in the SBA world, and we were able to get the deal financed, no problem. Get to the part where we're working with the landlord, and all hell breaks loose. This guy just had the biggest ego I've ever dealt with a landlord. And it all started with a simple email. I had my assistant send him an email just asking for something how he wanted us to handle a situation and get something signed to try to make his life easy, because he kept reminding us that we were putting him out in this process. And just a simple email, this guy flipped out and basically said my assistant was like the biggest asshole he'd ever met, and he was trying to push him into something. And what's a crack up about that is this guy is the most mellow, my assistant's the most mellow-mannered dude out there. So the fact that this landlord was making such a stink of this was just ridiculous. So, but we had to pull away from that situation and not let our emotions get involved, and we had to adjust our tactics and really kind of walk on eggshells with this landlord, because we needed 10 years, because if we didn't get 10 years, the bank was not going to fund that deal. So it really came to the final few days, until closing. The bank was, the landlord actually was saying, listen, if it doesn't happen by X date, I'm done. I'm renting the place out. I'm not even going to, renew the lease for this guy. So we had like a few days left. The bank was going on a holiday, and they weren't going to be able to close it when this time frame that this landlord gave us. So we had to call in favors because of our relationships that we had with this bank and say, listen, can you just work on your holiday and just get the deal done? Because it's dead if not. And we were able to make that happen, and that's why, it's so important that you hire the right team that really can navigate through so many challenges, because these deals are difficult, man. They are so hard to get to closing. And if you don't have that right team on your side, your deal's going to fall apart, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So if you need help in maybe selling your business or anything like that, or want more information, go to our website at www.acbrokersinc.com. Thanks for listening.